up, my loungies? Welcome to E Toxic Tea Lounge. Everything in this video is allegedly. Let's chat. Hey, what's up, my loungies? Welcome to the lounge. The only thing we're going to be discussing in this segment is going to be Tory and Megantheestallion. Yes, since it's still going on, we're going to do a recap. We're going to go into the 2022 Megantheestallion testimony, the transcripts, okay? This is going to be part one. There's going to be multiple parts, okay? Just to refresh my memory, y'all memory, everybody memory, okay? Because I know for sure at the time when the trial was going on, even before the trial, I just felt like Megan and her stories and Kelsey and the stories was kind of off. Now, we know that Tory Lanez has been trying to prove his innocence. We all know he messed up by making a decision by not going on the stand. But it was said at the time that his lawyer suggested that wasn't a good idea. So I guess they stirred him the other direction, okay? But I personally feel like he should have went up there and told his side of the story. That's just how I feel. But let's get into some of this mess.
Yes, this nigga Tory shot me. You shot me. And you got your publicists and your people going to these blogs lying and shit. Stop lying. Why lie? I don't understand. I tried to keep the situation off the internet, but you dragging it.
This was her online statement. The narrative that is being reported about Sunday's morning events are inaccurate, and I'd like to set the record straight. On Sunday morning, I suffered gunshot wounds as a result of a crime that was committed against me and done with the intention to physically harm me. I was never arrested. The police officers drove me to the hospital where I underwent surgery to remove the bullets. I'm incredibly grateful to be alive and that I am expected to make a full recovery. But it was important for me to clarify the details about the traumatic night. I'm currently focused on my recovery so I can return back to my life and back to making music as soon as possible. We seen you right after the surgery, girl. You was twerking on them feet. Tory at the time says, I'm going to leave this here one more time and watch how it ages. No weapon formed against me shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against me in judgment shall be condemned. You sit and watch now, and don't ever question the God I serve again. This is my last tweet. Okay. Now also remember he put this out. Good Eggplant had me freaking two best friends, and I got caught. That's what I apologize for. It's sick how you spun it, though. He even admitted that phone call, the apology, or whatever was in any type of anything was based on what happened that night and why everything transpired. Okay? Because he was with Kelsey and Megan. At this point, I'm getting annoyed. Stop believing everything you read on the mother effing internet. Imagine how I feel waking up every day seeing people lie and turn my trauma into a joke. That whole team figures out ways to create doubt with my story every week and the media eats it up. Y'all can't tell me when shit fake news. Oh, y'all can't tell when shit is fake news. Y'all still don't see an abuser picking with me. The first court date got pushed back because of the inauguration, but I can't wait until the mother effing facts come out. It you shot me and my story not changing, and it you going to jail. Your story has been changing, girl. All y'all. How the F I get shot now? I'm the world's biggest mother effing villain. All y'all pussy ass guys and pick me ass girls gonna eat your mother freaking words. So she was mad that nobody was on her side, okay?
You really fucking dragging it. Motherfuckers talking about I hit this nigga. I never hit you. Motherfuckers was like, oh, she mad because he's trying to fuck Kylie. No, I wasn't. Like, you dry shot me. Like, yeah.
Please explain to me what the hell is a you dry shot me? What's a dry shot me? Did he shoot you or not? How is it dry? Was it supposed to be wet? What the hell is going on? And just by her, this is her first live where she went live and first said it out her mouth that Tory shot her. Even the way she's explaining it, her story time and everything with the smirk on her face and like a aha, I'm about to chew you up, I'm a female, I can lie, and everybody gonna run with it. And a lot of people did. Just by her energies telling the story, it wasn't giving traumatic to me. Okay, so direct examination by Miss Top. Good morning, Miss Pete. Good morning. Is it all right if I call you Megan? Yes. May I ask you if you know someone by the name of Daystar Peterson? Yes. At any point during my question, and if you need a moment, please let me know, okay? And then she nodded. All right. Do you see him in the court today? Yes. Could you please point to where he's located in the courtroom and describe something he's wearing today? A white shirt and a tan jacket. The court. The witness has identified the defendant. And how do you know him? Well, we used to be friends. Do you know him by any other name besides Daystar Peterson? Tory Lanez. Now, you said you used to be friends with him. How long have you known him for before July 12th of 2020? Not that long. I'm pretty sure I just met him that year. And, Your Honor, may I approach for a moment? Yes. I'll move the microphone a little closer to you, okay? Then she nodded. Okay? And how would you describe your relationship during that time you did know him? I felt like we got close. We used to hang out all the time. We drank together, go to parties together, just hang out. Did you bond in any way besides just like, partying and hanging out? Yeah, honestly, when my mom died, I felt like I was just looking for like people to fill in the void of like a family that I was trying to create. And when I talked to him, I felt like he was somebody that I could trust. I felt like he was somebody that I wanted to be friends with, somebody that I could feel comfortable with. I felt like we had a lot in common. Did you guys talk about these things? Yes. And were you intimate with him? Yes. Were you exclusive? No. Intimate? No. Okay, how do you know someone by the name of Kelsey Harris? Oh, do you know someone by the name of Kelsey Harris? Yes. And how do you know Kelsey Harris? Kelsey was my best friend. And you say she was your best friend? Was that relationship changed? Yes. How long did you know Kelsey for? I know Kelsey since my freshman year in college in 2013 and 2014. And besides being your friend, did you also have another type of professional relationship with her? I had hired her to be my assistant. How long was she your assistant for? Probably since the end of 2019. Now, when she became your assistant, could you explain how that arrangement worked out? She just came with me everywhere and helped me out. Did she ever stay with you or live with you? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes? Yes. And let me just quickly go into this. What do you do for a living? I'm a rapper. And as part of your job, would you travel? A lot, yes. And back in 2019, 2020, were you traveling and was Kelsey with you? Yes. And when you would travel with Kelsey, was she always staying with you? Yes. How would you describe your relationship with Kelsey before July 12th of 2020? We were best friends. We did everything together. We always together. Now, I'm going to fast forward a little bit, July 12th of 2020. Do you remember that night? Yes. Tell us a little bit more about whether or not you did some things. You went somewhere. I went to a party. Where was this party at? At Kylie Jenner's house. And about what time did you say you went there? I don't remember. Was it early evening, late evening? It was early evening. Did you go there with anyone else? It was me, Kelsey, and our friend EJ. And who is EJ to you? He was my stylist. How did you get to Kylie Jenner's house? EJ took us. And when you got there, what happened? We started all hanging out. Everybody was drinking. I went in the kitchen for a little while. I was cooking while everybody was still out drinking. And then I brought the food out. And then we just continued the party. Now, was this like a big gathering, a huge party, or was it just like, no, it was like a small group of people. Okay, I'm going to have you do me one little favor. Allow me to finish asking you the questions before you fully answer, so we're not talking over each other. And that's for the court reporter, okay? Okay. Are you nervous today? I just don't feel good. You don't feel good about being here? No, I can't believe I have to come up here and do this. Okay, so when you got to the house, who else was there? Do you remember? I don't remember. Oh, Corey was there. Kylie was there. It was a few of Kylie's friends. When you say Corey, that's Corey Gamble. Mm-hmm. Is that a yes? Yes. And when you got to the house with Kelsey and EJ, you said you were hanging out. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes? Yes. And as you were hanging out and the night were on, at some point do you know if the defendant arrived at the party? Yes, I told him to come. You told him to come. How did you tell him to come? I text him. And do you know what about time it was that he came to the party? It was really late. I'm not sure exactly what time it was, but it was really late. And at this time, everybody was already gone. And it was just me, Kylie, Tori, Kelsey, and that's it. Now, Kelsey, when the defendant arrived to the party, where was Kelsey at? Do you know? I don't really remember where she was. She was there, but I just don't remember exactly where she was. And once the defendant arrived at the party, what happened? We all got in the pool, and then I felt like Kelsey came and got in the pool, and we got out of the pool, but I hadn't realized that my hair had started to look crazy. My hair had started to come off, and I was ready to go. Okay, and when you say it was coming off, you were wearing... I was wearing a wig and it started slipping and I was ready to go. All right, so when you were ready to go, did you say to anyone that you wanted to leave? I told everybody that I wanted to go. Now, do you know how the defendant arrived to the party? His driver, Jaquan, dropped him off. Did Jaquan ever make it inside the party? Jaquan didn't come inside the party. Now, once you wanted to leave, you let everyone know that you wanted to leave, and what happened then? Tori wasn't ready to leave, and I told Jaquan to just take us home, and he said he wasn't leaving without Tori. Okay, now you said you went and told Jaquan. Where was Jaquan at when you told him? He was outside the house. And so you went outside and told Jaquan that you wanted to leave? And what did Jaquan do? He said he wasn't leaving without Tori, and then what happened? He said if we convince Tori to leave, then he'll leave. Then he'll take us. And what happened next? Tori didn't want to go. I kept going back and forth with Jaquan about leaving, and he kept saying, I'm not taking you if Tori is not getting in his car. So we had to wait until finally when Tori was ready to go, he didn't want to leave. He had an attitude, and we finally all got in the car and left. Now, when you say we all got in the car and left, who was that? Me, Tori, Kelsey, and Quan. Now, what happened to EJ? EJ left. Do you remember when it was that EJ left? I don't remember exactly what time he left. Now, when you got into the car, what was Tori's mood like at the point? He had an attitude. And did he say why he had an attitude, or could you figure out why that was? He had an attitude because he wasn't ready to leave the party. Now, do you know why he wasn't ready to leave the party? Objection, cause for speculation. The court sustained. Did Tori ever tell you why he didn't want to leave the party? No. And Kylie, does she stay at the house? Yes. And when you left the party, do you remember where everybody was seated? Quan was driving. I was in the passenger. Kelsey and Tori were in the back seat. Do you remember where Kelsey was in the backseat passenger area? Was she behind you or was she behind? Kelsey was behind me. And how about Tori? He was behind Quan. And as you're leaving, do you remember what happens next? Tori says you need to stop lying to your friend like he had an attitude. And for whatever reason, he came out saying you need to stop lying to your friend. And because I knew Kelsey had a crush on Tori, I never wanted her. I never wanted to hurt her feelings. And I didn't want her to know that I had dealt with him in any kind of way. So he knew I didn't want her to know that. I didn't want anybody to know that. So when he came out saying, can you stop lying to your friend? Now Kelsey got an attitude because he's implying that now we're both hiding something from her. So this is how the argument starts in the car. Is that right? He already had an attitude. But I don't remember exactly what we was going back and forth about. But when he said that made everybody start getting into an argument. Okay, now when you say everybody started getting into an argument, you mentioned Kelsey was involved at some point. What was Kelsey's reaction is this to is what? To is this argument? She was angry. She was just like, what are y'all talking about? Who lying about what? And when you say she's angry, was it directed at anyone or was it just the situation? I think she was just
argument and you get out of the car, right? At that point, the argument wasn't even with me. Like, the argument was with the two people in the backseat. So I asked the driver to pull the car over, like, I'm done with this. And I should have stayed out of the car. Like, I should have not got back in the car. And it was like, Megan, just get back in the car. We almost there. Like, just get back in. So I get back in the car. It's like it's getting worse. Like,
arguing in the car.
The argument in the car is getting worse, and I don't want to be in this car no more. Like, because I see it's getting crazy. So I get out the car, and it's like everything happens so fast. And all I hear is this man screaming. He said, dance, and he started shooting. And I'm just like, oh my God.
okay. Cause for speculation, Your Honor. Sustain. Okay. So the court, all right, Miss T, she's writing down everything. Okay, so go ahead. All right, so you say Tory Kelsey seems to be getting angry. And what about Tory at this point during the argument? He's angry too. And what else is he saying, if you remember? I don't remember exactly how it started to escalate, but now Tory is calling me and Kelsey out our names. We itches and hoes. So now me and Kelsey are arguing with Tory. At some point, do you get out of the car? Yes, I asked to be let out of the car. And when asked to get out of the car, did Jaquan pull over? Yes. Did you get out of the car? Yes. Do you know about where that was? The main street in LA. I feel like it's a Sunset or Hollywood. I don't know what the name of the important street is. But I get out and I realize, oh my God, like I'm literally in the peak of being so famous right now. And I have on a thong on and I look crazy. And anybody see me walking down the street looking like this is going to look bad for me. So I decided after they're telling me to get back in a car, I will get back in a car. So at this point, when you first get out of the car, do you have your phone on you? I don't think I have anything on me. I feel like my phone was dying or it wasn't already dead. Do you remember anything about this particular stop that you made? Any like point of reference? Was there something there? Bus stop? Yes. So you got back in the car and what happens next? The argument is still going. Sorry, go on. Tory and Kelsey are really screaming to the top of their lungs at each other. What are they saying? Do you remember? I don't know exactly what they were saying. At this point, were you really involved with the argument between Tory and Kelsey?
I never put my hands on anybody. I never raised my voice too loud. Like, this was one of them times where it was like, it shouldn't have got this crazy.
No, I'm over it. I don't want to be in the argument no more. And what happens next? I asked to be let out of the car again. Now, when you get out and back, Now, when you get back in the car, did Jaquan drive you anywhere? Yes. He went down some side street. We were like maybe 5 minutes away from the house I was staying at. And at this point, I was like, maybe I could make it there. At least I'll be away from this argument. I'm close enough. I could walk. When I get out of the car, I start walking away from the car. And I could hear Tory say, dance itch. And I don't have to turn all the way. I don't have to use my feet to turn around. I could literally turn like this and I could see him with the gun. Okay, and it said objection, motion to strike. So they basically just telling her to do the next question. Okay, so she says, so you're mentioning you're walking away from the car and as you're walking away, you turn your head a little bit. Is that right? Yes. And what could you hear or see at that point? Tory with the gun, he's saying dance itch and I froze and I'm thinking if I move, objection, motion to strike. Okay, all right. After you thinking to yourself, if I move, what else are you thinking? I'm in shock. I'm scared. I hear the gun going off. I can't believe he's shooting at me. Now, when you say you saw Tory with the gun, what exactly do you see him doing? Holding the gun, pointing it at me.
Thank God that the bullets didn't touch bones. They didn't break tendons. Like I know my mama, my daddy, my granny had to be looking out for me with that one, cause
I was like, could you see in what direction was he pointing up right at you? As soon as I saw him with the gun and I heard the gun, I just froze. Now, could you see where he was standing? Yes. Where was he standing? On the passenger side of the car. Now, when you got out of the, actually, let's go back a little bit. You got out of the bus stop and you go back into the car. When you went back into the car, where was everybody seated? So you're in the front passenger seat. And Tori is behind Jaquan. And Kelsey is behind you still? Yes. And it sounds like you got out of the car a second time. After Jaquan drove some distance, is that right? Yes. Are you familiar with this area at all? No. Now, I think you mentioned that you were close to home. What does home mean? Well, close to the house I was staying at. And how long? But I recognize where I am. I just would need a GPS to get there. Now, how long have you been in and out of LA right before this happened? I had been there for a while. And were you staying with Kelsey at the time? Kelsey was in Houston for a large portion of the time. And at some point before this night on July 12th, had Kelsey come out to stay with you? Kelsey had just came back to me maybe 2 days before this happened. And was she staying with you? Is that a yes? Yes. So going back to when you got out of the car and the second time, you got out of the front passenger seat? Yes. And you mentioned you were walking away from the car. Where are you walking away exactly? Are you walking away in the direction of like heading towards the back of the vehicle or heading towards the front of the vehicle? The front of the vehicle. And as you are walking away, you turn. You said you see Tori shooting the gun, correct? Yes, after he said, Dan's itch. Now, you mentioned he was standing on the passenger side. Do you recall if he was standing on towards closer to the rear passenger side or the front passenger side of the car? I don't remember. Do you remember if he was standing on the ground? I felt like he was standing on... Okay, it says speculation, objection. Okay, the court will. Did you see where he was standing? The witness, I saw he was standing on the passenger side of the car. The court, could you tell if he was on the ground or was he standing on something? I felt like he was standing on something. Your Honor, I object to what she feels. What she feels is the question. The court, that's based on what you saw? Yes. Objection overruled. And what makes you think that he might have been standing on something? Because his arm was over the car window like he was higher than normal. Do you know how tall he is? Maybe 5'3", 5'4". So as his hand is over the car window, do you remember which car window that was? Was that the front door or the rear passenger door? I don't remember. And then what happens after you see him firing those rounds? I froze. Did you feel anything? I just felt shock. I felt hurt, but I wasn't really sure if this was actually happening. And I looked down at my feet and I see all the blood. And I dropped to the ground and now everybody is screaming. He looks shocked. Kelsey looks shocked. Jaquan is shocked. And I crawled into the driveway. Did you see where Kelsey was at the time you saw Tori with the gun fired at you? I felt I didn't look at Kelsey. I just saw Tori. And when you fell to the ground, did you fall right there at the moment that you felt like you had been shot, or did you move anywhere? I stayed right there. And then what happened? And I crawled to the driveway. Now, the driveway that you crawled to, was that across the street from where you were at? I was in front of the truck. That house was to the left. And I crawled into the driveway of the house that was to the left of the truck. Now, why did you go in that direction when you were crawling away? Because if I would have went anywhere else, it was too dark. And where was I going to go? I was hurt. So when you crawled to the driveway, were you still bleeding that whole time? Yes. And could you feel any pain? Yes. Where did you feel the pain? In my feet. Both feet? Both of my feet. And then what happened next? It gets blurry from there. Like, I see Kelsey walking towards me, but I also see Tori walking towards me. And what I remember is it looked like they bumped into each other. And then Kelsey Then it says, Your Honor, I'm going to object at this point. This is speculative, and what she's seeing, if it's clearly visible or if she's sort of leaning half out. The court, you saw them appear to bump into each other? Yes. Objection overruled. Answer remains. Okay. Do you remember anything else besides bumping into each other as far as what happened between Tory and Kelsey? No. Do you remember if any words were exchanged? At this point, I'm in shock. I can't even hear. Everything feels blurry. Objection. Motion is to strike. Okay. The court, sustained. The answer is stricken. Do you recall hearing or seeing anything else between Tory and Kelsey at that point besides the bumping of each other? No, I wasn't looking at them no more. I'm looking at my feet. And how about Jaquan? Do you remember where Jaquan was at during this time? No. Going back to the car, right before you got out that second time, what were some of the last words exchanged between either you, Tory or Kelsey, in that car? Tory was just basically telling me how I was a shit, and I just told him, actually, you just not shit. This is where you at in your career, and this is where you at with your music, and I felt like that really rubbed him the wrong way. Did he react in any way when you said this to him? He just kept yelling and cursing. Was that the last exchange that you had before you got out of the car? Between me and him, yes. The last series of exchange in that car, during that argument, where would you say Kelsey was in that? Was Tory going after you and Kelsey? Yes, he was attacking us. So after you were bleeding on the ground and crawled to a driveway, I'm going to show you what's been marked as People 7. Take a look at the screen in front of you. Do you recognize this? Yes. What is this? This is the driveway. I'm going to show you what looks to be like some red stains on there. Do you know what that is? Blood. Whose blood is that? It's my blood. And while you were walking all the way to this driveway, was there a trail of blood? Yes. Objection. The court overruled. Objection. Foundation. All right. Well, you were bleeding the whole time as you're crawling over? Yes. Overruled. You can explore that on cross. The answer remains. Okay. While you're on that driveway, what happened? I was crying. And then what about Tory? What did Tory do, if anything? He started apologizing. How about Kelsey? Was she there when he was apologizing? Yes. So what is Tory saying to you? I don't remember anything he was saying to me in that moment, but when we got into the car and we heard the police sirens, now he's saying, please don't say anything. I'll give you $1 million. All right. So I can't go to jail. I already got caught with a gun before. Don't tell on me. Now, when you are on the driveway, what is Kelsey doing? She's trying to help me. She's crying too. And did you go back in the car? Yes. Why? Because I felt like if they could just get me to my manager, like he would know what to do. Girl, what? Somebody just shot you and you're scared for your life. You go back in the car with them and you're waiting for a manager? Girl, bye. And you said something about you were wearing a bikini or a thong, right? Yes, a thong bikini. How about Kelsey and Tory? What were everyone else wearing? Kelsey was in a swimsuit too. When you got back into the car, where was everybody seated? Now I'm in the back seat and Kelsey is in the back seat. And Tory is in the front passenger seat where I was sitting at. Jaquan was still the driver. What happens in the car? He's apologizing and he's asking us not to tell. When you say us, who is he talking to? Tory is asking me and Kelsey not to tell. Okay, and what he's saying exactly? Objection, asked and answered. The court overruled. I'll give y'all $1 million if you don't say anything. I can't go to jail no more. I'm already on probation. Now, what's your reaction to that? I don't even think I said anything back because in my head, I'm thinking, how can you be asking me not to tell on you? Like, why are you not too worried about how I am? You just shot me. And how is Kelsey in the car at this point? Objection, Reg, Your Honor, the court. Why don't you clarify what you mean by how was she? What is Kelsey's demeanor in the car at this point? She's shaking up. Now, when you say shaking up, how can you tell she's shaking up? because we were both crying. Is she or Tori now exchanging any words at all? No. As soon as we got back into the car, it wasn't long until the police came. How much time passed after the shooting to when the police stopped the car? I don't know exactly how much time passed, but it felt like a minute, if that. How about Jaquan? What was he like in the car? What was his demeanor? He was quiet. Do you remember about how many shots were fired? I don't remember. Now, you mentioned obviously at some point the police got involved and they stopped the car. Is that right? Yes. What happens when the police arrive and stop the car? They ask us all to get out of the car. Right before the police ask you guys to get out of the car, is Tori saying anything still? Just telling us not to say anything. And when you got back into the car, did you see what happened to the gun? No. Now, did you ever see Kelsey with the gun? No. Did you see Kelsey ever handle the gun that night? No. That gun, had you ever seen it before? No. Did you know Tori to have guns? Objection, relevance, Your Honor, foundation. On this particular occasion or on this occasion? Did you know he had a gun that night? I did not know he had a gun that night. All right. And did you have any injuries on you? So here's the police report of that night. It says, my partner, Adonis Harris, who is Kelsey, okay? Yes, and yes. When asked if she wanted to talk about what happened, Harris said, I really want someone to represent me. So Kelsey automatically wanted, she lawyered up, okay? Our investigation revealed that on July 12th, approximately, an unknown suspect fired approximately 5 rounds. Smith, Peterson, Pete, and Harris into the black Escalade and flee southbound on Nicholas. Okay, It says, based on Peterson, who is Tori, his seating position, and the position of the firearm, Peterson was the last person to have constructive possession of the firearm. It says Peterson Daystar was placed under arrest for the violation, okay? And also note that it says a physical altercation between Harris and Pete, which is Kelsey and Megan. They had a physical altercation. But remember, according to Megan and Kelsey, they never fought that night. Another lie. All right, she said no. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But after the police came and they ordered you out, do you remember the order in which everybody gets out of the car? No. Do you remember what happened when you were ordered out of the car? I had to have my hands in the air and they asked me to walk backwards. And then what happened? I don't remember everything that was happening then because I was so scared. When you were in a car, were you still bleeding? Yes. Did you try to keep it from getting worse? Were you trying to cover up your leg in any way? I don't have anything. I was just in a bikini. Were you bleeding in the car everywhere? Yes. When you got out of the car because the police told you to, were you still bleeding? Yes. If I might have a moment, yes. Okay, so I can mark this as People's 23. It's one disc, which appears to depict the victims exiting the vehicle. All right, so marked. I'm actually sorry this was previously marked. No, this will be 23. Okay. Have you seen that? What does it show? Me walking, bleeding in a bikini. When you were ordered out of the car, did the police order you to do anything? I don't remember. Put my hands up, maybe. Were you handcuffed? Objection, Reg, as the time, the court, after you got out of the car, I assume. After I got out of the car, I felt like they handcuffed me to the gurney. And now I can mark this as People's 24. Is that another CD? Another CD. This appears to be a video of the victim seated on the ground. The court says so marked. Okay, showing that exhibit, do you recognize what's on there? Yes. Is that you on the ground in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen? Yes. Is that you on the ground in the bottom left-hand on the... Okay, yes. There appears to be a lot of red stains on the ground right before you. What is that? My blood. After you were taken out of the car, what happened? The police started asking questions, and did you tell them you were shot? No. What did you tell them? That I stepped on glass? Or why did you say that? At this time, we were at the height of police brutality and the situation with George Floyd. And I felt like if I said that this man just shot me, and I know they came because they had to have heard gunshots, I don't know if they're going to shoot first and ask questions later. I don't want to see anybody. This is what I'm calling cat. Because any female that gets shot intentionally by a male, they're not gonna want to protect that person. Like, what do you mean? George Floyd, please. I feel like that was an excuse because she know who really shot her and she couldn't make up a story at the moment and she needed her and Kelsey to make one up. In my opinion, that's how I personally feel, because if I got shot and you shot me and the cops come, I'm saying you shot me. Like, whatever happens to you, because why are you shooting me? But clearly, that's not how Megantheestallion thinks. She didn't want them to die. I don't want to die. I didn't feel safe. I don't feel safe in a car. I know I just got shot, but I don't feel safe with the police officers either. At some point, did they put you in an ambulance? Yes. Were you taken to a hospital? Yes. Was that Sinai? Yes. I'm showing what I'm going to have marked as People's 25, blah, blah, blah. It says another recording. It appears to be the victim in the ambulance. So marked. So they played it in court. It says, showing you that exhibit. Do you recognize that? Yes. What happened there? In that moment, I'm just realizing I'm really shot. I really just been shot. Now, when you're in the ambulance, do you feel at the moment that you could tell you've really been shot? No. Why? First of all, in the black community and my community, it's not really acceptable to be cooperating with the police officers. That's number one. Girl, bye. Number two, like I said, I just didn't want to see anybody die. I didn't want anything to happen to these people. Even though I wasn't safe in my mind, many just didn't want to see anybody die. Now, when you got to the hospital, did you feel that you could tell them you've been shot? No. Why? The same reason. Now, at some point, doctors actually meet with you. Is that right? Yes. Did you tell the doctors what happened? I wasn't saying anything. Now, at that point, was it for the same reason or were there other reasons involving as well? I had already said that I stepped on glass, and me going back, what are they going to care now? When you come out and say as a woman and say, oh, this man did this to me, people have a hard time believing you anyway. Okay, objection, motion to strike. Okay, will overrule. I think it's explains her actions. Okay, go on. This whole situation in the industry, like a big boys club, like I'm telling y'all, I'm telling all of y'all friends, and now everybody about to hate me. Now, while you were at the hospital, were you treated for your injuries? Yes. What injuries do you have? I had bullet fragments in both of my feet. Did you have to have some type of surgery? Yes, to get them removed. And could you tell us a little bit more about any visual issues you had to deal with as far as treatment for your feet? I have to get physical therapy. And how long were you doing that for? Maybe like a few months. How often were you getting physical therapy? At one point, I did it every day. It was on and off. And did you get stitches to your feet? Yes. Was there a lot of pain afterwards? Yes. I couldn't walk for a while, and I couldn't feel the side of my left foot. Did you have nerve damage? Yes. I still have nerve damage. And what do you mean by that? I can't really feel the left side of my foot. Now, as part of what you do you have to be kind of active in dance? Yes. Was it affected you in any way, this injury? The back of my feet are always sore, but I still just push through it. I'm showing you a photograph of what appears to be a close-up of the victim's feet. Okay, so they marked the image down. Okay, it says, I'm showing you a photo. Megan, do you recognize what this is? Yes. What is that? My foot. Now, that injury, it appears to be there's an injury to the back of your foot. Is that right? Yes. Which foot is this? This is my left foot. Now, do you have injuries to both feet, you said? Yes. Injuries to your right feet? Oh, what was that? One of the bullet fragments was right on the back of my Achilles. Now, this photograph, was it taken the night of the shooting? I don't remember. How was this how it looked the night of the shooting? It looked worse, I feel like. Now, when you started getting treatment, did you ever get stitches to your feet too? After surgery, I woke up with stitches in my feet. May I mark this as People's Exhibit 27, please? And this appears to be another photograph of the victim's feet. And then they marked it. Do you recognize that? Yes. What is that, my foot? Is that your feet? Is that your left foot or your right foot? My left foot. And was this after surgery and stitches? Yes. How long did you have to keep the stitches in? Do you know? I don't remember. Now, sometime shortly after the shooting, after you were released from the hospital, did you hear from Tory? Yes. And how did you hear from him? He texted me. About how soon was that after the shooting? Do you remember? No. Showing if I could have marked First People's 28 is 2 pages. It appears to show a text message to the victim. I'm showing you this first page right here. Do you recognize this? Yes. It appears to say Sunday, July 12th at 8:59 p.m. Does that sound about right as far as when you got this text message? Yes. And who is this text message from? Tory. It's showing you 28B. Was this also part of that same text message as well? Yes. And aside from that, did he ever try calling you or sending you other messages? He sent me other messages. And how did those messages arrive? Text message. What kind of things was he saying? That he just apologizing, and he texted me from another number saying he was watching me on my YouTube blog and he could see the pain in my eyes, and he prayed that God gets me through this time. And what was your reaction to this? I was sick. What do you mean sick? Why are you bothering me? And it just felt like, why are you being weird? You know you shot me, and now you telling me you watching me? Is this a convenient break time? The TA said yes. The quote, we're going to take our noon break to remember the automation. Don't discuss the case amongst yourselves. Don't form or express any opinions. Have a nice lunch. We'll see you all back at the gathering place at 1:20. So now the jurors, everybody is on their lunch break. So we're going to do part 2 another time. Okay, so this is part 1. Maybe she didn't say she got shot because Tory didn't do it. And she was shocked that Kelsey did that, and she didn't want to throw her best friend under the bus. Okay? Now, this is part 1. We have more to, go over with this transcript. Okay? It was like 165 pages. And this is like the first, 30 to 45 or 30 to something. So, I'm just doing a recap just to freshen everybody's memory of what Megan said on lives, on tweets, and in the transcripts. We're going to get into it. Okay? Now, I already said from jump, since Megan came on, Kelsey on the stand, the witness switched up. Everything was not adding up. Now, I feel like everything she said was accurate, before the incident, before they left Kylie's house. I felt like all of that was accurate. She was cooking. Everybody was having fun. They was in a pool. Blah, blah, blah. I do believe that she got jealous that Tory was in that pool flirting with Kylie and stuff. And Tory clearly did not want to leave because he was chilling with Kylie. And Megantheestallion did not like that. I know for a fact, okay, that there was some emotions that, that night. Emotions was really high. Everybody was drinking and it just escalated. But what I do not like, in my personal opinion, is that Megan lying on Tory just to defend her best friend. I felt like Megan knew that she was in the wrong, messing with Tory behind Kelsey's back, and she felt like she betrayed her. So she probably I don't want to feel like I'm betraying her more by snitching on her. So I'm just going to throw it on Tory because he was the one that played with us. So I'm about to show him. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's giving to me. They lied about a couple things that night. The fighting. They know for sure if they would have said that Megan and Kelsey was fighting, which is in the police report, is on black and white. They know that they're going to point it to Kelsey because that would be a motive. Y'all was arguing. Y'all physically fought. The fight probably got out of hand. Megan was probably beating Kelsey's ass. Kelsey decided that she wanted to reach for that weapon and try to, scare her, pop her, whatever. Like maybe Kelsey felt like she was getting her ass beat so bad that she thought she was going to lose her life that night. We don't know. So at this point, let me know how y'all feel about this. This is a long ass video, so I'm not going to ramble anymore. But let me know how y'all feel about it. Run this video up, and y'all already know part 2 is coming next. Okay? Love y'all.